Hello everyone and welcome to Deja Vu, the show where I look back on an anime recommended by you that I've already seen. This time by request of Mono, the Fez Dragon, Azan Jarvis and Cool Weeb, I will be experiencing Deja Vu for Erased. You can't talk about Erased without first discussing the incredible ability of the main character Satoru. Whenever something tragic happens near him, he is sent back in time against his will over and over until he can prevent the incident. We see this when he experiences a time leap during a pizza delivery. The fact that he immediately understands what it means and what he has to do wordlessly conveys to the audience that this is something that has happened before. I also love the scene where he experiences another time jump around his mother. As soon as he tells her to look around, she immediately knows that something is wrong. Not because she understands her son's ability, but because she trusts his intuition. This ability usually only takes him back half a minute or so, until he finds his mother shortly after her murder. It is after his ability sends him back to his childhood that the main plot begins. His mission, to prevent the murders of 3 classmates and bring their killer, his mother's killer, to justice. While some may categorize Erased as a mystery show, I would argue that it's more of a thriller. The mystery of the killer's identity isn't nearly as engaging as the tension created by the search, and the several times that their paths almost cross in dangerous ways. We also see our seemingly gold-hearted Satoru go to desperate lengths to protect his friends. That desperation and our understanding of where it comes from all contribute to the story's thriller vibe. However, a thriller cannot truly thrill unless we as an audience know what is at stake. The stakes in this story are the wholesome relationships between Satoru and his friends, particularly one of the future murder victims, Kaio. Kaio is someone who acts reserved and distant from her peers, which we later discover is due to trauma. Watching Satoru earnestly try to break down her walls and befriend her is quite delightful, and it makes you want to see him save her all the more. We also get some powerful interactions between Satoru and Kenya, one of the most valuable alliances in the story. If there's one thing you've likely heard about the show, it's that it has a somewhat lackluster ending. I'm not going to go into specifics, but I honestly thought that the end was just fine. It isn't a masterpiece, but it isn't the worst thing I've ever seen either. So long as you approach this show as a thriller as opposed to a mystery, and understand that the narrative reaches its peak well before the ending, I think you should be fine. On a thematic level, the thing that stands out to me most is the adoration of childlike innocence, social abilities, and optimism. For starters, most adults in this show, minus Satoru's mother, just kind of suck. The narrative even introduces adult Satoru as this pissy, pessimistic sourpuss, which contrasts starkly with his more energetic, optimistic younger self. And that's the best of it. Many other adults are forces of corruption, either abusing or murdering children and robbing them of that innocence. The narrative creates a dissonance between the corrupting force of adulthood and the innocence of childhood. It is that very same innocence that not only aids in the mission of saving these murder victims, but also keeps the main characters supported. So between a compelling plot, well-realized characters, and a core theme of innocence versus corruption, my experience of Deja Vu for Erased was a positive one. And that is it for this episode of Deja Vu. I'd like to thank my patrons, Orion Tran, Quincy Chamberlain, Chairman5, Lars Espen, Shark, Data52, Nerxu, Pixcalibur, Alberto Cruz, Tyler Bennett, Tenka, and Jeremy Pashik. If you too would like to support me via Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/behindbigjoe. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.